So what's good, homies? It's your man, Dr. BOA. I just recently did a video on Just Hilarious and how she was saying she didn't want a man who didn't make as much money as she did. And in the title, I jokingly, hypothetically, and also ironically put alpha female. And I figured the parentheses would indicate the sarcasm of it all. But then some chick jumped in the comments and said, well, the Kardashians are alpha females. And although I don't agree, what proof did I have? They're very successful, very popular, and they kind of have their own little witch haven over there, man, and they turn men out. But this is how God works on the behalf of alpha energy. Somebody sent me a recent post, man, from Kim Kardashian, which is from an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And she is butthurt emotional about her failure as a wife. Because contrary to what we like to talk about in popular opinion and in public opinion, Kanye was her third failed marriage. So for all this alphaness and all of these things, she's just like every other woman and can't keep a man. So when you say these women are alpha females, no. Because the one thing that they all still are, no matter who they are, they're still emotional beings. And in the privacy of their home, which in their case is shown on a show that they agreed to because they make millions to do so. This is what the so-called alpha female does behind closed doors. And not only is she crying, but every other so-called alpha Kardashian woman in the room is in tears. Because one thing that will never fail in this society is that emotions control women. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. When we talk about things like this, man, this is not a knock on women. This is just a truth call, a call to accept the truth of their existence to women. You're an emotional being. No matter how much money you make, no matter how much fame you get, you're still an emotional being. And if all else fails, emotion will be your guide, for better or for worse. But let's take a listen to this video, man, and we'll come back and chop it up on the real tip. And now, I won't be able to play the video, man, because it is an active episode of the show, but I will play the audio.
Amazing dad. He's done an amazing job. The whole
He
thing.
still will be. He
And
still
yeah,
will be.
I just like
He'll be better without you there. Like,
I think
handling
he deserves
things.
someone that can go support his every move
Yeah.
and go follow him all over the place and move to Wyoming. I can't do that. He should have a wife that supports his every move and travels with him and does everything. And I can't. I feel like a f***ing failure. That it's like a third f***ing marriage. Yeah, I feel like a f***ing loser. But I can't even think about that. Like I want to be happy.
Now what you hear, man, is simply a woman admitting behind closed doors to her compadres that she feels like a failure. She feels like she couldn't be the type of wife a man like Kanye needed. She feels like she couldn't be the type of support system that a man like Kanye needs. She felt like he's a wonderful father and she couldn't be the type of mother to the children that would be the type of man like Kanye needs. See, what we hear in this scenario is a woman who, after all the glam and glitter is taken off, is just a woman. Who, contrary to what these women might say, wants to have a successful relationship, wants to have a successful marriage. So for all of you women who view the Kardashians as these alpha females, they only seem that way because they've been dealing with a bunch of weak men up to this point. Bruce Jenner was a weak man. The Jezebel energy drained him all the way down to zero till he didn't have any masculinity left. Rob Kardashian grew up in the household with him. Look at his demeanor. Look at the way he keeps his physique. I'm not saying the guy got to be lean, but the guy don't like he ever worked out a day in his life. Energy drained to zero. Well, Kanye comes along. Yeah, he's from Chicago, baby. May not be the most gangster cat, but he's from Chicago, baby. Navigating the streets of Chicago. locked in one of the most powerful entities in hip hop, and now has become a self-made billionaire, worth more than his mentor Jay-Z. So we're not talking about a weak man who was going to be run ragged by some women. We're talking about a man who came in with his paper already long and strong, with a mindset to make more. See, so there's three different types of men that this woman is failed with. It's not like her other two husbands were the same as Kanye. Chris Humphries, not the same as Kanye. Even the men she's dated, Reggie Bush, not the same as Kanye. Ray J, not the same as Kanye. The so-called alpha female fails with men just as much as every other female. Because no matter what you think, when a man has requirements and standards and he sticks to them, a woman has to be fully vested into meeting those standards or she's going to fail, which is what this woman is saying right here. Now I know some beta male similar Johnny gonna come in here and say, well, that'll be alright. The woman ain't gotta try to be the woman you want her to be at the BOA. You gotta try to be the type of man a woman wants you to be at the BOA. The woman need a man at the BOA. Now, the woman can be what kind of woman she want to be. Every woman deserves a king. Every woman deserves a king at the BOA. From the peasant woman at the BOA to the queen woman at the BOA. They all deserve the best quality man they can get at the BOA. See, you and Kanye and other men like you, y'all think cause y'all get to some money and y'all got some notoriety that y'all ain't gotta bow down to these women at the BOA. But let me tell you something. Every knee shall bow, and every tongue shall confess that the Kardashian clan are the queens of the world. Unsubscribe. Okay, sucker, unsubscribe, but before you go, let me tell you this. There are no women who's queen of the world if she ain't got a king. Unless you're talking about a paper queen like the Queen of England. See, in the reality of the world, queens are the wives of kings. When a woman buys into a scenario that a man is building, she has to buy all the way in because there is no man who is worth his salt, worth his weight, that is going to accept a woman not contributing 100% to what he has going on. The process of his progress must be the focus of her intentions. And if it's not that way, then that man is going to leave that woman. Now, a woman can act like she's leaving the man. It's easy for her to get on TV and say, well, he deserves a woman who can do this and a woman who can do that. First of all, a man don't need a woman to tell him what he deserves. You think Kanye don't know what he deserves? You ain't heard nothing about Kanye trying to beg her back. You ain't heard nothing about Kanye trying to beg and plead. Well, then go to no marriage counselor, have you? You know why? Because Kanye already knows that that woman is gone as far on his journey as he can go with her. Fortunately for him, he let her build her own paper up. So you know what? Now when they part ways, she ain't going to get no paper from him. She got too much paper already. And she admits right here live that he's a hell of a father. So she ain't going out there trying to hunt no child support either. Here's the thing. What we found out in this video about Kim Kardashian is that contrary to popular belief, she does care about being a good wife. The problem is, when you do the things necessary to chase the paper, you lose the femininity necessary to be a quality wife to a man. Same thing I said about Jess Hilarious. The grind and grit that it takes to build yourself into an entity that is self-sustaining financially, it takes an absence of femininity and emotion. You have to embrace masculinity. You have to embrace the notion of a dog-eat-dog world, and you have to say that, okay, I'm going to be a dog who eats a dog, not a dog who gets eaten by a dog. I tell you men all the time, you can either be a shark bleeding at the gills, or you can be a guppy fish with a big bite out of it from the shark that's bleeding at the gills. There's only two ways to do this. And whether you're a man or a woman, there's a certain level of masculinity you're going to have to embrace if you want to reach a certain level of fame and notoriety and success. Period. There's no other way to do it. And here we have a woman who is embracing the fact that she does not measure up as a wife. So much for the alpha female who's a prize catch and any man should be happy to have her. Y'all women got to stop believing everything you see and everything you read and stop building these fantasy worlds. Because here you were thinking that these Kardashians are alpha women. And what you find out is they're women who are like a fish out of water. They're out of their element. They're making all the money, getting all the fame and notoriety, and all the power that comes along with it, and totally neglecting the woman down inside that just wants to please a man, that just wants to satisfy a man, that just wants a man to look at her as a positive addition to his life. And now that she doesn't have that, and I just showed you a video not long ago of the other Kardashian sister crying, talking about nobody's asked her to marry her. See, you women out here that are normal women, you watch this stuff, and I don't even know how you perceive the things you perceive. You sit here thinking these women don't need no man. You sit here thinking these women don't want no man. But here you are out here telling yourself you don't need no man, and you ain't even got no money. If these women with paper need a man, guess what? You need a man 10 times as much as they do. But they're smart enough to know they need a man. And they're smart enough to have a desire for completion that comes with that. The saving grace for Kim Kardashian is that she does have children. A couple of these Kardashian women don't even have children. And they ain't getting no younger. So for you women out here that are saying, I need to pattern myself after the alpha women like the Kardashians, well, let's run down the list. Beyonce, I'm a survivor, irreplaceable, I don't need no man. Been with Jay-Z for a long time, and her life has been getting better. Getting her belly swollen up with seeds and everything. But she don't need no man. Cardi B, oh, y'all love her so much. WAP. Been with Offset through some scandals. Through some embarrassing scandals for herself. Still married. But she don't need no man. Megan Thee Stallion, don't need no man. Right? All the rappers that she's been around, been with a cat, Partisan Fontaine. One hit song. Good song, so I ain't knocking them for that. But she in a relationship with a dude. One dude. The list goes on. JT. Been with Uzi Vert. Chilling. Public displays of affection. But let me tell you how you get the bag, is what she says to y'all young dummies. See, the problem with women in this society is not that they're emotional and don't use logic. That's always been the case. These women don't even use their minds at all. They don't even think. They are totally into not thinking. But here's the problem. They've also hardened their hearts where they don't feel. So they just do everything on a whim. So while these women are starving and hoping and praying that they can find a man that's going to want them to be his wife, and they feel the position well, the average woman out here is telling herself she don't need no man. While she out here, man, not even know how she going to pay her car note. Once and for all, there are no alpha females. There are women who are trying to live the life of men in public. And behind closed doors, they're crying their eyes out because they're betraying and neglecting the dreams of that little girl they used to be. About the big house, white picket fence, the kids, the fluffy dog, and the man controlling it all. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say.